I am so done with being lazy. Look at my room. My bed is unmade. I haven't showered yet, and I've already failed at my goals for today. I started this channel to help you become the best version of yourself, but recently I've been failing you and myself. And I know I'm not the only one. Let's be real. Not every fresh grad is lazy. Some are just overwhelmed. You wake up tired. You have no energy to start anything, and even the smallest tasks feel heavy. But deep down, you want to do better. You want to be consistent, productive, and proud of yourself again. So why does it feel impossible? This episode is for every fresh graduate who is silently drowning in post-grad life, but too ashamed to say it out loud why you're not actually lazy. We confuse burnout with laziness all the time, but here's what laziness isn't. Waking up exhausted even after 8 hours of sleep, staring at your to-do list for hours and wanting to start, but physically unable to move. That's not laziness, that's shutdown. The real reasons you feel there are deeper reasons you can't move. Decision fatigue, too many choices, no direction. You're drained from overthinking everything. What should I eat? What should I wear? Where should I go? Why did I pick this major? Am I going to get a job? With 100 rejections, how will I find a partner? How much money will I earn? When will I buy a house? If you're picking between 10 options for dinner, it takes mental effort. But when you have zero direction in life, it takes so much more. Then there's fear of failure. Why try if it won't work out? Success feels like a long shot. So why try? If you don't believe in your idea, you don't put in effort. If you don't believe in yourself, you don't push yourself. And then there's you call yourself useless, lazy, stuck, or disappointed. The voice in your head might as well be saying, do nothing. You're worthless. That's the opposite of motivation. Insecure people often judge themselves harshly because they know their weaknesses. They set unrealistically high standards and blame themselves for falling short. Finally, there's no structure. Most of us lost our school routines when we graduated. No one wakes you up anymore. No one checks your homework. No one tells you what to do. You have the freedom to decide how to spend your time, which is great. You have so much more flexibility, but also so much more pressure. Everyone around you seems to be doing well. Your friends are landing jobs, buying homes, starting families, and meanwhile, you're still figuring out how to use your new washing machine. It's not about effort. It's about emotional weight. People think success looks like this, but it's really like this. It's messy, it's slow, it's lonely, but most of all, it's uncomfortable. It requires you to show up emotionally, mentally, and physically to carry an emotional weight most aren't able to handle. How to get started when you feel frozen? The solution isn't to try harder. It's to design your day better. To help you understand, let me tell you about my ideal morning routine. I usually wake up around 7 or 8 a.m. I make my bed and take a few minutes to journal while drinking a glass of water. I eat breakfast and check my messages. Then I spend 2 hours working on my most important task. After that, I exercise or meet up with a friend. I start my mornings with small wins that compound into a productive day. Doesn't sound hard, right? Well, it's not when you have the energy, but when you're burnt out, even the word routine feels overwhelming. So instead of focusing on the end goal, focus on starting. Here are 5 small systems that helped me move forward when I felt stuck. Start with one task. Pick one non-negotiable task for the day. It could be something small like responding to messages or making your bed. Just don't put pressure on yourself to finish the whole to-do list. 5 years ago, I used to overwhelm myself by making these massive to-do lists, but when you're burnt out, your prefrontal cortex shrinks. Studies show that stress hormones impair your ability to plan, organize, and prioritize. So forget about planning your entire week. Focus on one thing. Set a 5-minute timer. Just start. Sometimes we avoid things because we don't want to mess them up. We want to do a perfect job. We want to do it right. But when you don't have the energy to start, you have to trick yourself. Tell yourself you'll only work for 5 minutes. Put on your headphones, sit down, and just start. You'll be surprised at how much easier it is to keep going. Make one small win visible. Keep a journal or checklist where you note down your daily wins. Every time you complete a task, check it off your list. Seeing your progress is so motivating. It reminds you that you're capable of more than you think. I write in my journal every night before bed. I note down 3 things I'm grateful for, 3 highlights of my day, and 3 things I accomplished. Doing this helps me celebrate my small wins and process my emotions before bed. Celebrate momentum, not outcome. You're not trying to be the best writer, the best artist, the best student, the best friend. You're trying to show up today. That's it. You're trying to move forward, and that's worth celebrating. Don't wait until you achieve your goal to be proud of yourself. Be proud that you woke up, showed up, tried, and kept going. You're moving forward, even if it's slow. Reframing guilt. You're not falling behind, you're rebuilding. Graduation is a milestone, the endpoint of a stage in your life. Like any ending, it brings grief. It's a chance to reflect on what was and what could have been. You may compare yourself to others who seem further ahead, but remember, You just finished a race that lasted several years. You need time to catch your breath. You wouldn't expect someone to sprint right away after running a marathon, would you? You'd give them time to recover. You'd give them time to rebuild. But we don't give ourselves that same grace. We blame ourselves for not being further along, and it paralyzes us even more. You're not alone. You're not broken. Burnout means you need rest. Not that you're lazy. Being overwhelmed means you need support. Not that you're Take the time to heal, to adjust, to transition. You'll find your rhythm again, moving forward with grace. I get that it's hard to take the first step, but once you do, things will start to fall into place. You're not broken. You're not defective. You just need a different approach. This phase is temporary. It doesn't define your potential. It just exposes what needs care. A little rest, a little patience, a little self-compassion. That's all you need. This is a chapter in your story, not your whole story. Ending? Small wins, greater than huge leaps. Imagine you're on a deserted island and you see a helicopter flying past you. Wouldn't you wave your arms as hard as you could to get its attention? Wouldn't you run to the highest point on the island to flag it down? You'd do whatever it took to get that helicopter to land. Because if it did, you'd be saved. Because if it did, you'd get off the island. Because if it did, you'd be free. And you think that's the right way to do things. You think you need these giant leaps to get what you want, but sometimes that helicopter flies right past you and you don't get saved. Sometimes the biggest risk you can take is believing in a fairy tale ending. Sometimes your only option is to wave it down. Sometimes the only way to get out of a rut is to start small. It's hard to admit, but most of us don't have the emotional capacity to transform our lives overnight. When you're burned out, getting out of bed is a huge leap. Finishing that one task is a huge leap. Checking that one box on your to-do list is a huge leap, and that's okay. You're resetting without the shame. If you're struggling with your mental health, please reach out for help. I've listed some resources in the description. Thank you for watching. See you next time.